What's up, everybody? It's Mitchell Salazar, current WSL commentator. Welcome to the Surfboard Empire ePro Australia. This is an event that has been taking place in Australia for the last 10 days, and it's one of the few events that have taken place worldwide so far. We do want to thank everybody for watching us on Fuel TV Australia through their YouTube channel. And just to teach you guys a little bit about Surf Web Series, the format of the calendar, this concept grew out of an equal opportunity way of thinking from President Gustavo Duccini on behalf of everybody around the world. Since COVID hit, it's been a difficult year for everybody, but Gustavo found a way to be able to provide a platform for surfers worldwide in order to provide an opportunity to still compete. How did he do this? He did this through a Surf Web Series. That's where the name came from. So we'll be talking to Gustavo in just a minute. Let's see a little bit of the highlight of what's happened throughout the last few events worldwide. Well, as you can see, there's been plenty of action worldwide throughout the other events, and this format brings a really fun way for surfers to advance into the finals. People actually have a voice in who can advance every single round, and it seems like people have spoken through, selecting their champions on a worldwide basis so far. The real question is, who will be a champion here in Australia? You got to find that out in just a few moments. First, let's go to a quick commercial with one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back to see what Gustavo Duccini has to say about the event. Welcome back, everybody, to the Surfboard Empire ePro. Mitchell Salazar here with the Surf Open League president and the president of Surf Web Series 2, Gustavo Duccini. Gustavo, it's a pleasure to have you, and congratulations on what's been an incredible journey so far. I know that you're originally from Brazil. You've been residing in Mexico for over 10 years now. But what was the purpose of creating the Surf Web Series, a virtual surfing event that's worldwide?
Thanks, Mitch. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm very proud what we got until now with Surf Web Series. Basically, in May, we have all this situation with the COVID-19, and our mission to promote the surfers, the beaches, the waves, and this professional sports. We were looking for the ways and the solution to keep promoting the sport, to keep promoting the surfers,
Yeah. Well, you're making it fun. You're adding a little bit of spice, and I also do appreciate that you're able to give these surfers a format where they're able to shine and really perform in the best conditions possible. Let's go ahead and see what our best surfers so far in every event worldwide have done. Let's go see what everybody in Brazil, South Africa, and Chile have done so far. So let's start things off, Gustavo. This is South Africa. The first stop after you did the original pilot, Dale Staples and Shane Sykes met up in the final. It was Shane Sykes who has an incredible repertoire of aerial surfing, but it seems like despite this huge air, a beautiful straight air, to be honest, Dale Staples was just a little too good at this wave in Jeffreys Bay. That was actually in St. Francis Bay, excuse me. But Dale Staples ended up becoming the champion in South Africa originally. We did have the pilot in Mexico. That was the first actual Surf Web Series event. Jafet Ramos was the champion of that event. Now let's go see who was the champion in Chile. Well, some incredible waves too. A great final between Christopher Herold from the northern part of Chile, who unfortunately ended up runner-up with that wave to none other than Guillermo Sad, current qualifying series surfer, and he's number 3 in the Latin American rankings.
Yes, he's an insane surfer, a very well-known surfer for the surfing community. And as you can see, Arica was one of the most displayed waves in Chile, and Guillermo and Christopher know very well.
Yeah, El Gringo, as it's known in North Chile and Arica. Now let's go ahead and see what Japan brought us, Gustavo. You went all the way to the land of the rising sun as well. Some incredible waves in Japan too. Well, Japan, home of the 2021 Olympics too, so it's going to be a big place where surfing is definitely going to develop even more. Tenshi Iwami was the champion in that event at Shirashita Beach in Chiba, so congratulations to Tenshi. Now let's go to your home country of Brazil, which was, I mean, I got to say, so far, I want to say it's the most competitive one out of all of them that have happened. Arrows a lot. People don't really know how big Maresias actually gets. It kind of gets like Puerto Escondido in Cicatela, where you've been spending a lot of time lately. And he did match up against Ian Gouveia, former championship tour surfer. This goes to show you, Gustavo, how competitive these events have been. Now let's go to the last event that happened before Australia. That was the Pacifico E-Pro in Mexico, where Sebastian Williams ended up beating Alan Cleland in an incredible final, Gustavo. I mean, look at these waves. Well, innovation is the way of the future, Gustavo, and I congratulate you. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope everything goes well for the World Championship as well. We still have to crown the champions here in Australia, though. We got some incredible 2 finalists, Sheldon Simkus, and Reef Hazelwood will be joining us later on this live broadcast. Gustavo, thank you. Let's go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to the Surfboard Empire E-Pro. My name is Mitchell Salazar, and we are in the closing ceremony. Joining me now is not only event director and visionary that brought Surf Web Series to Australia, but also local ripper, Keith Davies. Welcome, Keith.
Ripper, I think that's a good one, Mitchell. Thanks very much for that intro.
Keith, I want to get down to business with you because this has been, a global event already. But speaking of innovation, progression, and just a vision of the future, what motivated you to bring the SurfWeb series to Australia?
Well, my company, I've been involved in sport technology all my life really. I do a lot of video analysis, and I've worked with some other sports tech products. So I've always had this interest in innovation and technology, doing things better and helping athletes. And a good friend of mine, Ian Simpson, who ran the Japan contest, he and I were in university together, and he said, look, I've been talking to Gustavo and I've been talking to Gary, and they've got this idea, and I sort of latched onto it. I thought, it sounds fantastic. It's it's new. It's going to be hard, to get it off the ground. But look, COVID hit, and everybody was just sitting around doing nothing. So this was just a fantastic idea. I think, as everybody that's got involved with it, it's something that the surfers have gradually bought into. At first, it's what is it? How does it work? How do we do it? But not just the surfers, but the fans, and that's been a big one.
In the age of social media, it does seem like nowadays most of these professional surfers, or even amateur surfers, therefore as well, it almost seems like they're going to post these clips anyway. So why not do it in a competitive format, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, a lot of these kids rely on mom and dad being out there to help them and support them and get them footage. And I think that is one of the things that has been a stumbling block at first, because people didn't realize how important these clips can be and what they can do with them. There's never really been anything that's been competitive in that sense up until now. But the social media side of things has been massive, and you see people all over the internet putting pictures of themselves surfing and videos. And it's great fun, because we know now that we could do a 10 to 12-year-old contest, or and that's going to be great fun to all these people who get involved and have fun.
And we were able to see a good display of not only the surfing, but also of these breaks. Now let's get into a little bit of a diverse setting, Keith, because in this event, we were able to see a lot of amateur surfers compete against professional surfers, and you have 5 surfers that kind of stood out a little bit for you. Let's start with Sammy Lowe.
Yeah, well, Sammy Lowe is a young surfer from New South Wales. His father was actually quite a well-known surfer, Michael Lowe. He's just got into he's just done really well in the Australian Open titles, and he really impressed me as somebody who's going to get better and better and better. And of the 5 surfers I've picked, he was just one of those guys that really stood out. Trying their best. They're on the way up, and they're thinking, I want to surf against whoever's in the contest.
Mm-hmm. He's got a really similar style to his father, Nick, as well. Former championship tour surfer. Now let's move on to Ned Hart. What do you like about Ned?
Well, Ned was great from the very beginning, because Ned, he's from West Australia, and I wanted to get more Australians spread around from around Australia. And he came up with an entry, and again, 14 years old, and I don't think in this contest he really got to show what he loves, and that's here. We've got it in the video, the barrels that they get out in Western Australia, and apparently he really excels in that environment. And I'd love to see him in some bigger, cleaner barrels, and some. I know he needs to get some better footage from his mum and dad, who take all the footage for him. So he's got to improve his camera skills.
Man, West Oz is producing talent, let me tell you. Jack Rabo, Jacob Wilcox, Bronte McCauley, among others. Now let's move on to my personal favorite out of these 5. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him before, of surfing with him. His name is Liam O'Brien, and he is going to be a force to be dealt with in the near future.
Yeah, Liam O'Brien was someone he's a local kid here from Burleigh, because I'm based in the area myself, and he just impressed me from the outset. He was a guy who loaded all his waves, he got online, did all of the admin, etc. A really professional looking sort of mindset from this guy. I even called him in the middle of the contest and said, Liam, look, I've been so impressed with you, the way I'm actually an ex-rugby coach, and I've dealt with professional athletes all my life. And when you have somebody like this, that is going to make the difference when they get up there, because sponsors and people who are producing content with them will start to notice that. And what I would say is that if there are any of those younger kids that I'm mentioning who think about what they're going to do in 4 or 5 years' time, I'd say look at Liam O'Brien and his attitude. And indeed, some of the other surfers that have been in here. Quick mention, Matt Banty, and obviously our finalists and other people in here. It's not just about what you do in the water. It's about that relationship that you have with sponsors and supporters as well, as we know in getting this contest together.
Yeah, and you know, being a professional inside and out of the water, that's something that Liam O'Brien does to perfection. Let's move on to Huey Vaughn. He's a young kid as well, and got a pretty unique style, Keith.
Yeah, well, Huey, again, is he's one of, I think, 3 brothers in northern New South Wales, and they all absolutely rip. His brother Joel was also in the contest, and they're 3 guys who came in quite late to the entry, but they really got into it, and they posted some amazing footage. They're all doing really great things in the water, and they're also a bit of they're also kids that actually get out of the water and go high, go to the air, just like our finalists. So yeah, really impressed with Huey and his brother Joel.
I love his style personally, and for somebody that's so young to be able to have such a refined style at that age, it's difficult to do, and you should appreciate it from an outsider's perspective. And now let's finish with Dane Henry, another young ripper, and it seems like the East Coast of Australia is producing the majority of the talent right now, Keith.
Well, I think maybe one of the reasons for that was the East Coast had really good waves through this last winter and in 2020, and it's quite an exceptional year. But again, yeah, Dane Henry is pushing. I mean, you see the way he's throwing water in this video clip here.
Now, getting down to the business aspect of the Surfboard Empire ePro, Keith, we have a lot of great sponsors at this event, and I know that you have worked to get this event up and running. Since COVID happened, and you were in contact with Gustavo and Gary. A few of these sponsors, on a personal level, what can you tell us about them?
Well, as with any innovation and new idea, I think when you try to take it to a market, especially a surfing market like Australia that is quite developed, and people have already got their connections with the same people. They've got this contest, and a certain company does that every year. And there's a particular contest or particular group of surfers like Groms that certain companies have their tie-ups. So we had a new product here that we had to get out there. Firstly, you have to explain the concept of what we're actually trying to do. Then we had to do it within, usually these negotiations take about 18 months to 2 years to tie up. But we had to do it in the space of about 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, look, my own company, I deal with a product called Blaze Pods, and we import those into Australia, and I do some other software products that I decided to invest heavily in the concept. But then I went to Surfboard Empire and a guy called Dave Tarantini, and Surfboard Empire were absolutely fantastic, not just in helping us with products and giveaways and things like that, but actually as one of the biggest retailers in Australia. They were really instrumental in putting me in touch with surfers that we needed to get the event, quality surfers that we needed to get into the event to get the event off the ground. And once you have those surfers in and a company like Surfboard Empire behind it, it tends to give you some credibility. But then we had, I actually contacted this lady, Jo Higgins, she's down in Byron Bay, from Get a Grip Surf Wax, because she's producing natural beeswax surf wax. So no toxins, completely natural. And I just thought that's something that I want in this contest. You know, that's something that we all as surfers should be getting that message out. And so I basically said to Joe, look, I want some wax, I want some t-shirts, I want some caps, etc. to get away, and I'll help to promote you on this event. It was one of those things that I did really because it's something that I'm quite interested in myself as a surfer. And the other one was Ryan Surfboards. Got one here. This is actually the giveaway that someone is going to win for voting on the heats, etc. So yeah, we've had great giveaways from Ryan, from Get a Grip. We've got some Blaze Pods, this reaction training system. And we've had like sets and sets of FCS and Futures, Paisel, Lost Surfboards, Mayhem, MR. They all came to the table through our relationship with Surfboard Empire. Yo skateboards, surf skates, Lost clothing. Yeah, so that support is just unbelievable. And hopefully we can build on that moving forward.
Well, having heard the amazing words that you've said about our spectacular sponsors, let's listen to a little word from them.
We were so stoked with the event. We can't wait to be involved next year. The format was fantastic. We're looking forward to see what the other regions were going to do, and we're looking forward to the grand final in Hawaii at the end of the year. Hopefully an Aussie can get up and win it.
All right, thank you to all our sponsors, and they did an amazing job to put this event on, Keith. And I want to close this segment with you by telling you that your background so far, out of our few guests that we've had on this on this live closing ceremony, has probably been the best. And I want to say that you're giving Strider and Kaipo a run for their money with that.
I'm after their jobs. You tell them I'm after their jobs.
Hey, I mean, I'm gonna put in a good word for you. You might get the call, you might not, but you know, there could be a little bit of favoritism right there. You never know.
Okay, we'll see. Thanks very much for your time, Mitchell.
Hey, thank you, Keith. We appreciate it. Congratulations on a successful event, and we hope to see you soon at the World Championships.
Great. If I could just say final word to all the surfers who entered, I really, really appreciate all your efforts, and it's been fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Keith. Let's go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with an interview with Gary Linden. Welcome back to the Surfboard Empire ePro live broadcasted closing ceremony. Mitchell Salazar with the legend, the pioneer of big wave surfing, and all around good guy, mi hermano, my brother, Gary Linden. Gary, welcome.
Thanks, Mitchell. Awfully kind words. I appreciate it.
Hey, Gary. First of all, I want to say congratulations. I know you and Gustavo have worked very hard to organize the Surf Web series around the entire world, but talk to me about the event here in Australia. What was the significance of bringing this event into Australia for yourself?
Well, you know, Australia has such a rich history in our culture, and you know, it's one of the top surfing nations for so long. It was the U.S. and Hawaii and Australia, and then just to have them in the fold meant really a lot to me because it was like a stamp of approval for our project that we're doing.
What about coming from a judge's perspective? I know you were one of the few judges to actually be able to appreciate every single wave submitted during this event. What would you say about the fan interaction, counting as the fifth judge in this competitive format, but also your appreciation of what we've been able to see as far as competition goes?
Well, counting the fifth judge and having the audience be able to participate, I think that's the key to the whole success of Surf Web series. It just makes it a way for fans to interact, and in very few sports are you able to do that. You know, it's always, you know, Monday after the Sunday football game, you're always going, well, you should have passed or you should have done this, and this way you get to actually vote and give your opinion, and it means something, you know. And we saw some fantastic surfing in Australia, and one of the things I really enjoy about going to each country is you get to see some of the best surfers on the best waves, on the best swells, and when you judge, you get to see everywhere. You're forced to, but it's kind of nice. It's like, twist my arm, make me do that. Oh no. I love it.
Given the 2020 has been a complicated year with the global pandemic concerning COVID-19, was there any doubt in your mind that we weren't going to see maybe the best waves possible from these surfers that submitted their entries into the event?
Well, no, that's the thing about the format is, everybody's still surfing. I mean, COVID-19 has probably created the biggest boom in surfing that since I've been, since the 60s. True. I mean, the surfboard shops, we can't make enough boards and we can't get them glass, and there's a big demand. Everybody's going surfing. So I knew the top surfers would be surfing, and top surfers always got their videographer with them, and so I was looking forward to it. It was a way to interact with the world, and for me this year I probably traveled less than I have since I was a teenager, and I really enjoyed it. And part of the thing that I was missing was being able to see all my friends all over the world. And with Surfweb Series, I was able to experience that without the anxiety of rocking up to the airport and worrying about all that stuff. And really enjoyed not traveling and still having the interaction with my friends and the culture that I love.
So would you say that was one of the main purposes when both you and Gustavo founded Surfweb Series, was to create a local environment within the small region first, and then bring it to a worldwide scale?
Yeah, I think it's an idea that evolved, and Gustavo, sent me the idea at first. I just, I didn't delve into it. And then one night I was trying to sleep about 2 days later, and it just went, oh man, this is a brilliant idea. This will really work. It checks so many boxes. It allows, kids that can't afford to travel but are really good surfers, and you know what it's like slugging your way through the QS program, and you just have so many competitions. It costs so much, and maybe if you're everything, the stars all align, you might get your break and make it to the CT. But this way, local hero, like our first event, the local hero from Ensenada got to the final, and nobody even knew, Kevin Mesa from Ensenada. Nobody ever, because he's just a good surfer, but he's like a free surfer. He doesn't do well in competition, but you catch his best 10 rides and he's better than most anybody around. The stuff he does is crazy. So actually the competition boils down to a competition for free surfing. And so you're really seeing the best surfing that comes down. You don't have to wait, oh, the swell wasn't good, the wind wasn't good, the tide wasn't good for my heat, and I got beat, but I beat those guys, but I didn't get a fair shot. This is a way for really, show us what you got and put it up against what the next guy's got. So it's just so exciting to me. And, as it grows and we see more and more countries competing, and, we finally get to that World Championship event, I think it's going to be pretty special. It's going to be, for the first time, the best waves in the world going to be ridden by the best surfers in the world, and they're all going to be compared. And who's got the best waves? I see some pretty special waves come through so far.
Hey Gary, it's been around 10 years since we've met, and we're talking about growth and excitement. And I met you in Puerto Escondido in 2010. Then we went to my hometown of Mazatlan in 2011 for a qualifying series event there too. Just talk to me about how much surfing in general has evolved. Like, we were seeing the first broadcasted events there as far as the qualifying series events are concerned. Now we're having broadcasted events worldwide, which I work in as well. But now we're doing this, a Surfweb series, a digital surfing contest that the fans, alongside with judges, are able to handpick and select who they want as champion. Would you have imagined this when you started surfing in the 60s?
Oh, man, I started surfing in the 60s. There's a whole bunch of stuff I couldn't imagine. But you know what? One of my good friends told me, or repeatedly tells me, we're the Jetsons. We're living the Jetsons life, where you can, plug in what you want to eat for breakfast, and it comes out of the microwave right there. And so it doesn't surprise me anymore. I'm just really thankful that I'm still being able to be involved. And I just turned 71 last week, and you know, I'm still in the game. I mean, that's fantastic for me. And with this format, I'll be able to keep doing it for a lot longer. So I'm excited about it.
I love it. And you're still charging big waves too. I see you out in the lineup every now and then as well. Now let's go and listen to a message from one of our other judges, Tim Just. Let's see what he has to say.
Guys, I'm Timmy Just, the Australian judge for the ePro Surfweb Series online surfing contest, the Australian leg. Yeah, stoked to be a part of it. It's a really exciting event. Got to see heaps of crazy barrels go down and some crazy big airs and really good surfing all around. Congrats to the 4 finalists who are off to the World Final. Yeah, good luck to all competitors, and yeah, stoked to be a part of the series. Cheers.
All right, thank you, Tim. And Gary, I know you've been a judge for a long time. You've been an event organizer for a long time as well. And now let's look at the highlights of what has been an incredible event here at the Surfboard Empire ePro in Australia.
Okay.
Wow, Gary, I'm amazed with the level of surfing we have in this event, and it seems like every single region has brought something different to the table. Brazil definitely brought the competitive aerial game, but it seems like Australia has no doubt become one of the epicenters of surfing, and it seems to be like it's still a potential to win the first gold medal at the 2021 Olympics in Tokyo.
You know, that'd be pretty special. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Olympics, but I tell you what, you know, there's pretty good surfing going down all over the world right now. It's not limited to one area at all.
And what did you have to say when you saw most of these waves? You were judging them, comparing them to one another. Did somebody stand out in particular? It seemed like Liam O'Brien was kind of one of the favorites at the beginning. We have our 2 finalists, Sheldon and Reef, and then former championship tour surfer Matt Banting was in the draw as well. What did you like to see about everybody?
Well, you know, what I liked about this event was, you know, we're all frothing about the waves at Kira, you know, and those long tube rides, you know, and just, but the guys really got some aerial game too, and some really exciting drops at Snapper Rocks, just free falling and then pulling into the barrel. Those were some of the most exciting things that I did see. But you know, the aerial thing too, it's like when you're judging this, it's like you're seeing different waves from different places, and so it's hard to compare apples to oranges. So when you get down to when you see this killer aerial and this killer barrel, and you're gonna go, think, what takes the most difficulty? What was the most difficult thing to do? What was the hardest thing? What was the most critical maneuver? And you really, after you've done it, judge a few of these events, it becomes easier. The first round, when there's 6 surfers in the water, that are not in the water on your video screen, that's when it's really hard. You get down to the semi final and the final, it's man on man. It's a little bit easier because you're just comparing 2 waves and 2 rides.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge, and it's an exciting thing to be involved in.
I don't think you could have explained it any better, because I myself also have professional judging experience, especially at a higher level. And it seems like the main thing is that you want as far as judging goes is consistency. But how difficult is it to maintain that consistency when you are judging a thing that's separate from one another?
I think just practice makes perfect. And the thing is, it doesn't take too long. You just see a quick wave, and then so you can go back and it's like instant replay, you know. And I still am pretty much old school. I like to, my first impression is what I want to make the score on. What did it look like? And then if I'm not so sure, that I'll play it back a couple of times. I'll tell you what, I played the final back 3 or 4 times just to tell you how intense that was. So yeah, I think once the concept with the Surfweb series, which I think is really brilliant, is that we're not giving scores to the wave. We're just saying one wave, this wave is better than the other one, or this ride's better than the other one. So you don't come into that point where, oh, that was a 7.2. And they go, no, I thought it was a 7.1, which has always been ridiculous to me. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's like in the old days, we judged stubbies with Bill Bowman. And it was kind of like, okay, thumbs up or thumbs down, you know, do you have a winner? Yeah. You know, and that's the old school way to do it. And I still think that's pretty good, but I realize the need to have points when you're judging every wave and comparing it. But in this scenario, it's just first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 50% advance, on to the next round, clean and simple.
And I will say, I think with this format, and especially the way these men are surfing, it's a little bit more difficult to really say thumbs up or thumbs down, Gary. But I want to say a big thank you to you and congratulations on an incredible career that you've had so far. And I hope to see you out in the lineup soon. Anytime, man. Let's go surf Mazatlan. That was my first surf trip. Hey, I'm telling you, once COVID-19, the whole pandemic is over, I'm going to stay down there in my hometown for a couple months. Well, I'll be coming to see you in the first shot available. I hope so, Gary. You take care of yourself, and I hope you enjoy your holidays. Thank you. Same to you, Mitchell. Bye-bye. Thanks, Gary. Let's go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our finalists, actually, right after this commercial. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Surfboard Empire ePro. My name is Mitchell Salazar, and I am joined by none other than our 2 finalists here in Australia, Sheldon Simkis and Reef Hazelwood. Welcome, gentlemen, and congratulations, first of all. And I want to ask both of you a very important question about 2020. Is this your first Zoom call?
No, I've actually done a couple so far, so but still not good at working it.
What about you, Sheldon?
Yeah, Keith emailed me the other day and I had no idea what I was doing. I clicked the link and I had to download it all. I'm like, hang on 5, mate, I'm still sorting it all out. So it's definitely, it's all new to me.
But that's the cool thing about this event too. When we're speaking about the future of surfing and how we've had to adapt to the COVID-19 era, the Surfweb series and this event specifically, the Surfboard Empire ePro, has provided a platform for both of you and many other surfers worldwide. Reef, let's start with you. What have you thought about this experience so far in competing in a format that hadn't been seen before?
Yeah, well, for me, it was really exciting and a lot of fun. Just seeing everyone's kind of best clips throughout the year was really cool, and being able to showcase a couple of mine, and it's been really fun and exciting. Like, there's been a really couple close heats, and so then just to kind of sneak through to the final has been really cool. And I'm pretty stoked to have made it this far, and I feel like there was a lot of good guys in this event, so pretty special to have made it to the final.
And Sheldon, you had an incredible start to the year on the qualifying series, but now turning into another competitive beast here at the Surfboard Empire ePro. What's it been like for you to be able to kind of show a bit of your free surfing compared to your competitive surfing here in this competitive format?
Yeah, it's an amazing, having the technology we have these days to be able to run events from different countries and showcase what you've been doing at home to someone across, the other side of the world is pretty amazing. And such a bummer that, the QS and the whole WSL series kind of went down. at the start of this year. But yeah, we got to hang at home, which my home's not a bad. I kind of love my home, so we got really good waves, and to be able to just go surfing and get clips and then have an opportunity like this pop up where we can showcase it and then versus other Australians. Yeah, it's really cool to showcase and see, there might be guys that aren't good in the rash or in a 30-minute heat, and to be able to put their best clip up from a 2-hour surf at and battle against someone else is it's a good opportunity for those guys.
And that's kind of been the theme of this year so far. Being able to spend so much time at home is really something that everybody's been able to appreciate. Now let's go on to the actual competitive part of this event. We're going to start with Reef's waves, and let's go through from round 1 to the semifinals. Reef, you've obviously been a big star in Australia in recent years due to your extremely beautiful participation in the Boost Mobile Pro Gold Coast last season on the World Surf League Championship Tour. But knowing that this format, having it be digital and knowing which waves you could use from one round before who you were going to match up against, did that even factor into your mind, knowing that it was a possibility that you can match up against somebody better than you?
I think I was kind of just keeping the focus on putting in the wave that I thought was probably going to get me through the round. There were definitely a couple heats where that I saw who I was against. I was like, all right, I probably have to put in like one of my better ones. I can't save it. Kind of need to go all out. And I think that's probably kind of what got me through a little bit, was just kind of almost not holding back with some of the clips and stuff. And yeah, I think for me, just kind of looking at it, it's been, just kind of trying to not think about too hard and just have fun. And I feel like it's been really cool.
It's great to hear that you've been enjoying your time too doing this. And Sheldon, one last question for you before we go on to see our highlights of your guys' waves in the event. You're leading up to a great start of the season for yourself. You're currently on the island of Oahu, but you started the year incredibly well on the WQS. But now your focus is traveling with your girlfriend to the first 3 stops of the championship tour. Where's your mindset at after competing in this event, which is a totally different format, and now actually traveling again?
Yeah, it's the focus has been shifted for sure. Kind of just trying to get her comfortable in some of the waves I kind of enjoy surfing over here, which is maybe not her, I wouldn't say strengths, but she she can hear. But I mean, yeah, Hawaii, the North Shore, it's pretty incredible for some of the waves. We don't get any waves like that in Oz, so, your sunset type waves and your pipe, they're the only ones like that in the world. So to be out over here, and I'm just trying to get myself, to become a better surfer and feel more comfortable, hopefully come down to 2021 season, be here surfing the Triple Crown, or, hopefully trying to qualify. That's kind of a goal of mine. So hopefully kind of, get comfortable and hopefully get Macy a result while we're over here.
Personal growth, and you're doing it in a relationship too. Congratulations, Sheldon. You're doing pretty good in 2020 compared to many others. Now let's go and see the highlights of Reef Hazelwood's wave throughout the competition so far. So Reef, you've just had a really good diversity of progressive maneuvers throughout the rounds. It seems like an equivalent to rail surfing has also been balanced with your aerial game. You want to talk to us a little bit about your progression so far and your maturity at such a young age?
Yeah, well, I feel like in the last couple of years, like from kind of just finishing the junior series and then coming on to the qualifying series, a lot of my focus was just doing turns and obviously just that competitive surfing and being solid. And then, I've always had a kind of a goal with my free surfing to be going big and stuff, but just in the last kind of like 2 years, I feel like I've been able to kind of translate that into my competitive surfing, which has been pretty fun and really cool. And so, kind of in the Surf Web series, I was kind of just thinking that I was wanting to kind of showcase like some of my best solid competitive, but also aerial surfing. And so, at the start of the event, I put in that first one. It was kind of just 2 turns, and I thought they were kind of cool turns and stuff, and it got me through. And I just kind of feel like the last year and even the last kind of couple months, I've really kind of just focused on like being solid and like kind of trying to be powerful with all my turns and airs and stuff. And so, yeah, I felt like I was able to kind of showcase that a little bit, which is really cool.
Well, that alley-oop in the semis was incredible, my friend. So congratulations. And now we got to see what's going on in the final in the next few minutes. But now let's go over to Sheldon's waves. Incredible surfing too, Sheldon, in your participation so far in this event. And as you were mentioning, it being a virtual event, you actually had more of a balance between barrels and maneuvers throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah, home was pretty amazing, as I mentioned earlier this year. So a lot of good barrels, and it was definitely, traveling on the QS is, it's amazing, but sometimes the waves aren't so flashy and great. So focused on just trying to be in the best spot around home, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. A lot of these days are just around home at D-Bar, and just try to I guess kind of what Reef is doing also, just try and do bigger and better turns and combos and that kind of thing. It's kind of what works on the QS, and Reef's air game's amazing. Like, they get scored so well on the QS. So it's been, I guess, less thinking, but more trying to just balance things out and just kind of have a lot of fun with it too. And yeah, home was really good this year, so it made it nice and easy to just go get frothing and go surfing.
I'm looking at the waves right now, and I still can't believe how good of an actual winner you guys had. Just absolutely outstanding. And most of those waves for both of you were actually on the Gold Coast, correct?
Yeah. Mine were like D-Bar and like kind of Broken Head, and then like down at Ballina. So most of my clips were there, so that was pretty sick.
And Sheldon, you had a couple behind the rock at Snapper. It seemed like D-Bar was a personal preference for you as well.
Yeah, they were. I grew up. They were the two closest beaches, so feel very lucky to have waves like that. But yeah, South Stratty was really good. Snapper had good sand. D-Bar was pretty amazing throughout winter, and a few other spots down the coast that I won't mention, but they were also really good. So it was. There was actually, with our winter, there's so many sand bottom waves we have, and chase a lot of swells on jet skis, and a lot of waves weren't documented, but it was, like I said, just for the love of like getting good waves and getting barreled. So yeah, really good winter.
Hey, well, we might be seeing the next generation of Cooley kids in front of me. Who knows? You might be the next Joel Parko, you might be the next Ingo Morrison. But now let's see the 4 people that are actually going to qualify for the World Championship. It's both of you in the finals, and then we have 2 of our semifinalists that will be going to the World Championship, which will be in April of 2021. So knowing that you're actually not only going to receive a good amount of money for this final here, what's it like knowing that there's another opportunity for you to even make more money to fund your travels, to make it to the championship tour eventually?
Yeah, I think it's when I first heard about the event, it was more about just using clips online and having somewhere to put them in a sense, in a competition way is even cooler. You throw your clips, you got to be kind of strategic. It's almost like a heat in a way to make sure you put the right clip in the right heat. But to win a bit of money is awesome. I was just stoked to kind of just see how far I could go and get to that next stage. And then when Keith mentioned there was money to me the other day, it's just an added bonus. And I guess for me and Reef to make the final, that was kind of the goal, seeing how much the money did jump from the semis. But yeah, I mean, that's great. But to be heading to the next round and hopefully take it further for the Aussies in a sense is it's great.
What about you, Reef?
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. Obviously with it kind of being the first event like this, where it is kind of on a world stage now. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's clips. I heard that there was some pretty nuts one in kind of their own countries and stuff. So I think it's going to be probably some ground breaking kind of clips and stuff. So I just hope that I can put a couple in that are like that myself.
Well, the whole purpose of this event is to break down those barriers on a worldwide level and eventually promote different regions worldwide, which we'll hopefully eventually see on the championship tour one day. But just to let you guys know, the 4 qualifiers so far for the Australian region are both of you Tomas Carvalho, who's an excellent surfer from the Gold Coast as well, and Corbin Hutchings. What do you guys have to say about the new generation of talent, not only coming out of the Gold Coast, your region, but also Western Australia seems to be really strong. And to me, the kind of underdogs in Australia always come from the south. That Victoria region has some amazing surfers as well.
Yeah, I think like we've just got a whole new generation where they've been looking up to all the older guys, and now we've got like the John Johnson and Gabriels and all those guys on tour, and so I think they're looking at that and wanting to push it even further than those guys. So I'm pretty excited to kind of see what happens with the next generation. And I actually just kind of ran an air camp a couple of weeks ago, and just seeing the level like of the kids younger than me was pretty incredible, and how they're pushing it in the airs and stuff. So I think the sport's looking pretty good. So I'm pretty excited to see what the future holds.
What about you, Sheldon? What do you think? You think there's going to be a next world champion in the 4 or 5 years upcoming from Australia?
Yeah, I mean, we have so much talent down in Oz, and me and Reef used to surf in the same events, you know, around Oz, the Oki and the Skull Candies and that kind of thing. And I feel like there was a pretty big movement of, you know, 8 or so guys that were from all around Oz that were, you know, really good when they were young, but they also are pursuing QS campaigns like your Jacob Wilcoxes and your Morgan Siblick. He qualified last year. Yeah. So, and Liam O'Brien and Reef are right there at the end of last year. So I think there's a really good bracket of, I'd call them guys that, you know, their early 20s. They're, you know, kind of knocking on the door to qualify. So that's really exciting. But yeah, as Reef said, there's, you know, all those kids younger that are doing the Ockies and the Skull Candies now, that is 14, 15, 16, and a lot of good styles. And you can see that they're doing, you know, really progressive airs and turns and making it look stylish. So it's exciting times, and yeah, hopefully a few of the boys crack the CT soon.
Hey, it might be you two as well. You never know. A future world champion could be right in front of my eyes right now. With that, I'm going to let you guys go, and congratulations to both of you. We will be announcing the winner in just a short bit, so don't go by. But both Reef and Sheldon, thank you very much. We'll be joining you again shortly. And let's go to a quick commercial break and be right back with the rest of the Surfboard Empire ePro. Well, with that, gentlemen, having seen both of your waves that you submitted in the final here at the Surfboard Empire ePro, let's declare our champion in the Australian region. He is none other than young Reef Hazelwood. Reef, congratulations. A big win against a savage competitor in Sheldon. How do you feel after this big win in 2020, which after all has been a difficult year to compete in a virtual surfing event during a global pandemic?
Yeah, definitely. Well, like it's been a pretty crazy year. Like obviously with a pandemic, and then I actually had to get some shoulder surgery too, so that kind of took me out. So just pretty stoked to kind of get a win and kind of get the ball rolling again with this. So pretty excited, and yeah, hoping that I can kind of keep this going and get some epic clips for the world one now too. And yeah, like there was some good competition in this Australian region. So yeah, pretty stoked to kind of take it out. And thanks Sheldon for kind of pushing me. That was a good final. So yeah, well done.
Congratulations to you as well, Sheldon, runner-up, 2,500 Australian dollars richer. And just from your perspective, I mean, this is a great start to your campaign during the 2021 World Qualifying Series season as well. But you got to look on the bright side of this too, right? Because you've already qualified for the World Championship at the Surfweb Series event, and now you still have the qualifying series to tackle. Give us your perspective on what this does for your surfing career in a progressive way.
Yeah, the event was so cool to be a part of. It's so different to anything I've ever really competed in, and you know, I felt like I had some good heats along the way. Matt Banding's an amazing surfer. He was my first man-on-man, so to get over him in the clips was unreal. That was kind of a bit of a win for me. And then, you know, there were so many other good guys in the event that, didn't end up making the top 4. So yeah, to get into the semis and get to the top 4 to go to the next, progress on was kind of, I guess, the first goal. And then, yeah, to make the final, it was kind of a bit of a win from there, So I'm still super stoked with second. Reef threw some amazing clips down, so congrats, mate. And yeah,
Thank you.
Still got some coin to take into next year. So it's, yeah, all smiles here.
And this is a question for both of you. I mean, Sheldon, you can go first since, you just finished speaking about it, that the competition level was so high just in this region. What are you expecting on the worldwide level?
Yeah, so many good surfers in Australia, and as you saw in the comp, there was so many good waves that got entered, and a lot of the heats at the start, I felt like you had to be so strategic with where you put a wave and who you were versing, especially at the start of those man-on-man heats. There was they were eagerly wanting to get through. So yeah, I think coming into the next stage, it's going to be a whole lot tougher. Versing a lot of good guys from other regions that have sensational waves. So it's going to be interesting watching the next regions roll out heading into April. And yeah, I mean, definitely be keeping an eye and see who's ripping and who's posting good clips, and try and get some good waves myself for the next leg.
And Reef, what do you think? Do you think that wave quality, along with the quality of your actual surfing and your clips, is going to be equally as important?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to be kind of doing a couple of trips, I think, and just really hunting some of those good waves to, hopefully kind of mix it up a bit more with hopefully the couple more big turns and then the air, or a wave where it allows a couple airs or a couple barrels and then an air or something. So I'm hoping to kind of really step it up for the world one. I heard from like a couple of the regions that have already run were pretty insane with the clips and stuff. So yeah, I'm not taking anyone else kind of lightly. It's going to be pretty hard, I reckon. So it's going to be exciting.
Hey, well, you never know. If Gabriel Medina joins up in the competition, you might be able to have a rematch with him in a virtual surfing event. So congratulations to our champion, Reef Hazelwood, and congratulations to our runner-up, Sheldon, as well. Sheldon, congratulations, and hope to see both of you soon, and enjoy your holidays, and I hope you have a great 2021 season.
Thanks so much, Mitchell.
See you guys soon. We're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back for the closing ceremony here at the Surfboard Empire E-Pro. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we got today for the Surf Empire E-Pro. Mitchell Salazar here to say goodbye, and thank you once again to all of our incredible sponsors: Surfboard Empire, Addo Animus, Ryan Surfboards, Get a Grip, Surfing Life, Fuel TV, Surf Open League, and Surf Web Series. And just a reminder to all of our viewers, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a professional, make sure to get your waves filmed. You can submit them. You can compete in your region, in your regional competitions as far as Surf Web Series is concerned. So make sure to get those waves filmed, especially if they're great. You could get a chance to win a good amount of money and maybe even compete at the World Championships in the month of April. On behalf of everybody here at Surf Open League and Surf Web Series, this has been the Surfboard Empire Surf E-Pro. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you at our next stop, January, in Peru.